Liasa, and today we will be learning more about filmmaking. Are you all set? Very good. So before anything else, let's just have a quick recap on the things that we discussed yesterday. Can anyone here in the class define what is a film? That's great. A film is just like novels and short story. It tells a story. It is also called as a motion picture. It's a process that involves 3 stages. First is the pre-production stage, in which planning on what will be the movie look like or what would be the script is very important. The next stage is the production stage. It is where the filming proper is being conducted. And then the third stage is what you call the post-production stage, in which in this stage you're going to edit or add effects or add sounds to your clips. Now, who started filmmaking in the country, here in the Philippines? Yes, exactly. Philippine cinema was started by no other than Jose Nepomuceno. He started filming in the Philippines, and his first film was entitled Dalagang Bukid. It's a musical play. Among the movie that is being shown here in the Philippines, what movie do you think got the top grosser? Yes, it is the movie entitled Hello, Love, Goodbye, starring of course Catherine Bernardo and Alvin Richard. It's not just a typical love story of a girl and boy relationship, but it tackles about our modern heroes nowadays. It is the story about the life of our overseas Filipino workers who are working in Hong Kong. And aside from that, it's a collaboration between 2 giant stations here in the country, ABS-CBN and JB Films. And today we will be learning more about film appreciation. In order for us to appreciate or review a movie, we need to know the basic elements of a movie review. That is why today the main objectives of our lesson are the following. Can you read, class? Thank you. And again, our objectives for today. At the end of the session, the learners are able to name the elements of a movie review, to identify the genre of a film, and to create a cinematic effect based on the clip provided. So our first activity for today is that you're going to guess who said the following dialogue and from what movie. So our first dialogue here, so our activity is what's the line, that's the film. Our first dialogue, everybody read. Okay, it's huwag mo akong mahalin dahil mahal kita. Mahalin mo ako dahil that's what I deserve. From what movie this? Who do you think said the famous line? Yes, it's from the movie Barcelona, A Love Untold. Those lines were lines of Catherine Bernardo as Mia. Now, the second line. Everybody? Isang beses lang ako nagmahal. Masama ba ang magmahal ng isa lamang? So, do you think, have you seen this movie? That's great. So, from what movie it is? You're great. It's from Kita Kita. This line is from Empoy Marquez. So, that's one of the blockbuster hit movies here in the country, Kita Kita. Next line, famous line. Kasi ang totoo, umaasa pa rin akong sabihin mo, sana ako pa rin, ako na lang, ulit. Who said the famous line and from what movie? Anyone? Yes, it's the famous line of Bea Alonso as Basha in the film One More Chance, together with Mr. John Lloyd Good. So here in the country, we are fond with romantic films, right? So I guess it's our tradition. Moving on with our discussion for today, our second activity is elements of movie review. I'm going to group the class into 6. Each group will have 2 members, a reporter and a secretary. As you can see, there are 6 stations inside the class. We have station 1, station 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Each station will have an information about the basic element of a movie review, and then there are questions. You're going to answer responses here in this area, and then you're going to complete the graphic organizer. So that would mean Group 1 stay at station 1, Group 2 stay at station 2, Group 3 stay at station 3, Group 4 stay at station 4, Group 5 stay at station 5, and Group 6 stay at station 6. Now after 2 minutes, I'm going to clap my hand. That would mean you're going to transfer from one station to another until you complete the graphic organizer. And after completing this one, you need to share your answer in the class. So the reporter will share his or her answer in the class. Okay, am I understood? Okay, that's great. So I'm going to distribute the graphic organizer. Yours. Okay. So good luck in the activity. As I said earlier, I'm going to clap my hand. That would mean you have to transfer to another station. Good luck, and your time starts now. Congratulations everyone, and thank you for completing the activity. Now let us hear your responses among the questions in each station. So can we have it from group number 1? So much for participating and for answering great in our activity for today. So to wrap it up, the basic elements of movie review are the following. Again, everybody read: characterization, setting, plot, cinematography, conflict, and the theme. Now to further elaborate the things that you have learned earlier by answering the questions in each station, we have here the 6 basic elements of a movie review. First, we have the characters. So, the character in the movie, they were the ones who are portraying a certain movie. The villain or the antagonist and the protagonist. Now, the character of a certain actor or actress is being determined by his speech, action, the physical appearance, and of course, his or her thoughts in the movie. Now we have 2 kinds of character: the flat character and the round character. The flat character is the one that doesn't change at all. From the beginning of the movie, for example, she or he is wicked in the beginning of the movie, and when the movie ends, she or he is still wicked. So that's the flat character. There's no change at all. But the round character is dynamic. So, for example, a protagonist is very shy in the beginning of the movie, and then at the end, he became or she became a star, or she was able to overcome his or her shyness. So, the character there is what you call round. Again, what are 2 types of character? Yes, it is flat and the round character. The second basic element of a movie review is what you call the setting, or the location, or the time where the story happened. So in most cases, the setting adds tone in a movie. For example, in romantic films, they add sunset, sunrise, so that the effect or the setting of the story will be cinematic effect, will have cinematic effect. And most of our films here, especially the romantic films, they were filmed outside the country. For example, the movie Barcelona. It was filmed where? Yes, it was filmed at Barcelona, Spain. Kita Kita. It was filmed at Sapporo, Japan. And Hello Love Goodbye, where it was filmed? Yes, in Hong Kong. So most of the romantic films nowadays, they were filming outside the country. But for you, media arts, in your future film, I want you to promote our very own culture, our cultural heritage. You have to promote our own locality so that people in other places will also appreciate what we have here in our place. So next is what you call plot, or the succession of events in the movie. So for you to have a very good movie, of course the foundation of that is to develop or plan a good script, wherein the succession of the script or the events in the story should be based on your script, and the plot should be interesting. Now, in order for a plot to be interesting, your story should have a conflict. That's why conflict is we have here also conflict. That's why a conflict should be interesting, and it's not just an easy one. It's about life and death. Your conflict should be life and death, so that your protagonist cannot easily overcome the struggles in the movie. So it would be a challenging one. And then, of course, you have to develop a very nice climax or the turning point of your story and a solution. But sometimes we do have this kind of films that is very tragic, or it's the not a so-called happy ending. But for Disney films, they have this tagline: the ending always ends with "and they live happily ever after." Now, we have the cinematography. That is why in the film we have this what you call cinematographer. His or her work will be more about the way in which the camera is used to communicate. Meaning, that is why we have different kinds of framing, angles, and kinds of shots. Also, the cinematographer will communicate essential information to the audience. That is why in a certain film festival, they also award Best Cinematographer. And we have next the conflict. As I've said earlier, the conflict in the film should not be that so typical. It should be something challenging. That is why we have there are 6 kinds of conflict: man versus man, man versus himself, man versus society, man versus nature, man versus technology, and man versus time. So and the last one, we have the theme or the central idea of the movie. It is where the movie revolves. Some of us here likes romantic films, some of us here likes, or what do you like? Okay, sci-fi or the science fiction kind of movie. So the next one is we have the type of films. As I've said earlier, we do have different types of favorites, of film themes. Like for example, I myself, I love romantic films. Whenever I go to movie theaters, I see to it that I will watch a romantic comedy or romantic drama, romance drama film. Those kind of genre. How about you, Megan? What's your favorite? Okay, suspense, horror. So, yes, I know you're very familiar with type of films. We have there romantic, it's about love, historical. So, we have historical movies like Goyo. It's the recent one that I've watched. Detective. We have thriller. We have adventure. We have horror, science fiction, and adventure. So now, can you guess what would be the type of film? This film, General Luna. Okay, good. It's historical. So it tells about the history of one Luna, one of our heroes. This one, Ang Panday. Ang Panday it's adventure and also an action film. It is of course started by Fernando Poe Jr., the king of action films. And we have so many versions of it. We have the version of Bong Revilla, Jericho Rosales, and who else? Of course, you're right, Coco Martin as Pandan. Next, we have this one. Everybody, what's the title of the film? Yes, it's Inteng Kabisote. So, what type of movie is this? Adventure. You got it right. So, Inteng Kabisote is a featured film during the Manila Metro Film Festivals, or this what we call MMFF. So every December, it's our tradition already among Filipinos that we look forward every December, not just our Christmas party, but of course our dates in movie theaters by, of course, watching the entries for Metro Manila Film Festival, and we have to promote our own film festival. So next is okay, we have here also international movies. So Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a series of movie. So what type of film? It's adventure. Good. How about this one? Everybody read. Yes, The Fault in Our Stars it was written by John Green but turned into a film. It's a romantic film. It's actually more on the dramatic side. Next, we have Twilight. So it's a combination. Yes, you're right. It's a combination of a romantic film, at the same time suspense. It's also an adventure and an action film. That is why Twilight is one of the most watched movies at all times. A movie after the I said earlier that we have 3 stages in a film, right? The pre-production stage, the production stage, and the post-production stage. And in the post-production, we were adding cinematic effects already to our clips or to the footages that we filmed during the production stage. We add first soundtrack. Why do you think sound or musical score is very important in a movie? Yes, you're right. It adds tone, it adds color, it adds uniqueness to a certain movie. Just imagine watching a horror film without sound effect. Do you think you'll feel scary? No, because sometimes a film, just for example, a horror film, you don't feel scared, you don't feel that you were scared, not unless there's this boom sound, right? So, sounds really add something on the movie. The official soundtrack or the OST, that's why we have this particular song associated with a movie. For example, My Heart Will Go On is an official soundtrack of the timeless what movie? Yes, it's Titanic. So soundtrack is very important, musical score is very important in a movie. Next is the use of the camera. We have different kinds of shots. Close-up shot, the medium shot, and then the long shot, or what we call the landscape shot, and then the high angle and the low angle shot. So we've already discussed the kinds of shot before during our discussion with photography, right? So I don't have to deal with this, but later on we'll have an activity with the use of your camera. I suppose you have your phones with you, because it was your assignment to bring your phones today. Then we have the lighting. So if the movie is dark, of course the the kind of light is not that so bright. It should be dark. So that's why the dark tones of horror movie, we have blue, we have green, we have black and red. But for romantic films, we have sunshine light. So it's just a light vibe. Next, we have the editing. So I guess it's one of the most tasking part. It's the editing part of the post-production of a movie. So in editing, the editor will have to stitch the film, add music, add effects, so that the film will be not just so dull. Because if you're going to compare two movies, a movie without properly edited and a movie which is edited properly, of course, the one that will earn quality, or the one that will earn votes among viewers, of course, the film that is being edited properly. Now there are films, especially among Hollywood films, they were editing their films that would last for a year, and most of the sci-fi or science fiction film editing is very important, especially that they're going to add effects and they were using chroma, so of course they have to edit it in a longer period compared to romantic films. Okay, so that's it for cinematic effects, and for your task for today, you need to, with the same grouping, you need to go out. I'll give you 10 minutes in order for you to shoot or film a certain angle here in your school. You need to just look something outside and then you have to film it. Then you're going to apply camera shots, so you're just going to choose among the camera angles I mentioned earlier. We have the close-up shot, medium shot, long shot, high angle, and the low angle. You're just going to choose one and then film a particular scene, for example, flowers or your room around. I'll just give you 10 minutes to do it, and then share your clips tomorrow without any effects yet. Without any effects, because our task for tomorrow is that you're going to add soundtrack and then you're going to edit the motion, like you're going to make it fast forward or slow, and that will be your activity for tomorrow. Are there any questions? Great. So did you learn something with our discussion for today? Good. So I guess now